Today we stand here at the buildings of the European Parliament, and the European Parliament is the center of the democratic world, that's what they say. It's also the center of the worldwide liberalism, together with Wall Street and all other things. And today we stand here because when we are looking at history, we see that there is a kind of worldwide disease. The name of this disease is Russophobia. 100 years ago, the Polish government killed a few guys from the Soviet Red Cross, and this was not because they did something bad, it's just because they were Russians. They were because they were Russians. In all history, we see a lot of times that Russians are killed because they are Russians. One of the biggest genocides we know worldwide in all history is the genocide on the Russian people. Since 1,000 years, the West is trying to kill Russians. They already tried to kill Russians before there was even Russia. The hate from the West toward the East began in the time of Byzantine. The West was sponsoring every army and every evil force against Russia. The West sponsored Napoleon, pushed Napoleon to attack Russia. The West paid for Hitler. They paid him to attack Russia. The West pushed the Teutonic Order. They pushed them to attack Russia. I can give you a lot of examples of this. We are here because we want that all form of Russophobia must stop. We know that the American state is made by killing 100 million of Indians. This is a genocide, and we know that the same Wall Street mafia and Western leaders, also here in the European Parliament, they dream to do the same. Madeleine Albright told once, we have to reduce the Russian people to 25 million. So, today, it means today they want to kill 125 million of Russians. Is this not a genocide? So, as we say, stop the genocide on Russians, stop the killing of Russians, because Russia is not our enemy, Russia is our friend.
This here and we are in front of the European Union. Here they make laws against racism. What do you think about racism against Russians? Racism is something bad. They say here, they make laws here in the EU, but they are against racism if you are from Africa, from Asia, from all over the world, except if you are from Russia.
You know, there is I'm a lot of time in Russia, and the atmosphere is very clear. The most of Russians, they like Europe. They love Europe. They say we Europeans, we have a wonderful history, wonderful countries, but on the other side, the Russians also say that we have a lot of problems. They see it. We have the problems with the mass immigrations. We have the problems with the LGBT mafia, you know, the gays and all this mafia. And they see, today they very well can see the decline of Europe now. Like Oswald Spengler wrote about a few years ago, a long time ago. So, but they have a heart for Europe. And on the other side, they know that in Europe there is a lot of Russophobia, a lot of hate for Russia, a lot of hate pushed by the media, for Russia, and they suffer from it because they want friendship with us. They are the people who ask really friendship with us Europeans.
50 years ago, they told my parents, you have to be afraid from Russians. Nobody should ask why. Today, there is no iron wall anymore in Berlin. Russians can come to here, we can come to Russia, but still the same. Be afraid because the Russian will come to Europe. Why they still say that? I don't know, maybe you have an explanation.
This is geopolitics. The geopolitics of Europe is dominated by the American Wall Street. And American Wall Street, they want simply to isolate Russia, to isolate, to destroy. This is American geopolitics. And so they push everything that is Russian is bad. And that's what they're pushing, because the one who dominates the heartland dominates Eurasia. Dominates Eurasia, dominates the world. So, America doesn't dominate Heartland, but the Russians live there. So you have to delete these Russians. But today, since the modern times, since Putin, it's very difficult to push away Russia. In the time of Yeltsin, they tried to push away. But now, with Putin, Russia is against strong. He's a strong people, strong army. They cannot do it. So, the anger of the American deep state is very, very big. And it can lead to the next World War. Here at the grave of a Russian soldier who died at the First World War. What can we do more? What sacrifice we can do more than giving the life for freedom? During history, the West always forgot the sacrifice of Russian soldiers. Russian soldiers and Russians fought a lot of time for freedom, for our freedom in Europe. And even in Belgium, in France, we can see a lot of this kind of graves where we can see Russian soldiers lying in the ground, lying forever because they died for us. That the West must recognize the Russian sacrifice for what they did for our freedom. When we ask to most people in Europe who helped us to be free after the Second World War, most of people answer us, the Americans did it. Everybody is thinking that America is the great liberator of the Western world. Nothing is more a lie than this. This is one of the biggest lies of history of the modern times. Never in history a people brought us so big sacrifice as the Russian people. They lost almost 30 million people during the Second World War. They lost millions and millions during the First World War. They lost a lot of people in the war against Napoleon. They lost a lot of people in all wars where they were or attacked by European forces or where they wanted to defend Europe. Don't forget the Battle of Kulikova, where the Russian army defend us against the Mongolian Tatar occupation, and if the Russians lost this battle, the whole of Europe would be Mongolian. It's one of the examples. And the answer of the West is very simple. Thank you for your blood, we give you nothing, and for the rest, we hate you. This is the Western answer to all the Russian sacrifice. This must stop. Today, the Russophobia must stop. Oh, racism against the black people, racism against other is all bad, maybe good, okay, but nobody speaks about the racism against the Russian people, what we see today. When we ask people today in the streets, what do you think about Russians? They think that Russians are non-civilized people. They are dancing with bears and drinking vodka all the day long. They really think it. So, and this is because the Western media is bringing and giving us such an image. This must stop. It's time that the world knows the truth. And we, Euro-Rus, we will fight against Russophobia. We will fight against all the lies that people and the West are telling about Russia. Russia is a normal country. The Russians are a normal people. They are a European people with big connections with Asia, but they are a normal people, and the Russians are our friends. And the fact here, this man who is lying almost 100 years here, tells us one thing. The most important thing in life is peace. Because who wants war? Who wants it? Only bad people want war. War is very bad for good people and very good for bad people. And let's respect the sacrifice of the Russians. Let's respect the culture and the Russian people, because they are our friends. I repeat it 1,000 times, the Russians are our friends. And Russophobia is racism against Russia. Must stop.